Hello, World, and we are back with another one today. I have some very exciting news. Riot Games gave us the schematic in September. They told us they are going to be dropping a new ADC character. They said, ride the lightning, and they made a lot of lightning and electricity references. I figured out who this character is. Let's get right into it. So here's the schematic sheet that they gave us. There's a bunch of screws, big screws, a bunch of text we will not be able to understand, some symbols, and then the weapon, the seeming weapon that this guy will be using. It's got those two huge screws from here at the top of them. Let me just bring that down so you can see it a little bit better. And let's move on. Alright, so Ride the Lightning. We'll have an electrifying start to 2022 with a brand new bot lane marksman who has been charging up and rearing to finally get onto the rift. We wanted to create a kinetic marksman who's always on the move, pulsing with sparky determination. Determination is a very important word. That is a key thing to do with this character. Let's move on. A champ who plays the game at machine gun pace. So we know he's going to be shooting, kind of like a top-down shooter, and brings the feels of a shooter game to the roster. Okay, so they explicitly said it. We also really wanted to explore more unique basic attack concepts in League. Alright, so he's going to be changing up how basic attacks work, kind of like Jhin and Graves. This is the character that you see on screen right now. This is the guy that Riot Games is going to be bringing in as the ADC. He's a card known as the Unstable Voltician from Legends of Runeterra. He's a 5-mana card, and when you play a spell that's over 6 mana, he gets quick attack. So that's his general kind of thing. He also gets +4 attack. Alright, so the Unstable Voltician. What's his name? They give you the name in his flavor text. His name is Klas Henwick. So Klas is going to be our newest hero. He's age 51. He's got a license. His license type is class 2. It's conditional, but its status is revoked. The comment on why it was revoked is ignored repeated warnings to reduce output following lab explosion. So he's got the case number there as well for that lab explosion. And then they say, do not permit entry. Now, the bottom text about do not permit entry, that shows up in capital letters on the card. So this man, no access for this guy into the lab or whatever they're banning him from. He does not get access. They don't want him to have that access. Why don't they want him to have access? Well, this dude is basically the kind of character who will do anything to kind of progress and move things forward. He's kind of like a Victor kind of character. Victor has that type of thing where he wants to move science forward for the good of the people, but we don't know Klas's motives. All we know is that he wants progress. Keyword. Alright, so who is Klas Henwick other than the Unstable Voltician? Well, he actually has 3 cards. This guy shows up on 3 different cards, and this is one of the huge giveaways that he is going to be a character in Legends of Runeterra. Now, the nice thing that Riot did is that, unlike with Cithria, they kept quiet, completely quiet about Klas. They haven't explained that this is all the same person before. And it's easy to figure out once you go through the cards. While looking through Coroner, I found this, and it was mind-blowing to find. Alright, so the Eager Apprentice says, his flavor text says, not everyone is cut out to further progress, that's the very key word, progress, in Piltover immediately. Some need a little guidance. Those who look at invention through the wrong lens, for instance. So who's looking at invention through the wrong lens? It's our boy Klas Henwick. When he's an actual boy, when he's very, very young. There's the mentor who's probably saying all of this. And if you've played Legends of Runeterra, you know when you drop cards, some of the cards have interactions. This card, the Eager Apprentice, actually has a voice line with Heimerdinger, which is interesting because Heimerdinger essentially doesn't age that much between a lot of years. So 51 years for Heimerdinger is nothing. So this guy being 51 years old here and this character having a voice line, they can be in 2 different times, and Heimer can speak to this one. And that shouldn't cause any problems for you in your head. Don't worry about timelines is basically what I'm saying. Alright, so how do we know that this is all Klas Henwick? Well, his eye is the huge giveaway. His hairstyle, kind of, like you can see the hairstyle, the way it works. So his hair has kind of got like that flowed back spiky feel to it. But his left eye is always closed. It's never really open. He uses a tool for his left eye to kind of like see with or to work with. I'm not sure what that tool really does, but he's always wearing something over his left eye, but he doesn't ever open it. Here he is in the illegal contraption. This card actually gets summoned by a spell card. We're going to be looking at that spell card a bit later. This is actually the icon that pops up on the spell card on these boxes here. But as you can see, I've circled his eye again. He's got another one of those tools on his left eye again that he's just using because he can't see out of his left eye, or he's blind there for some reason. That will probably be explained to us at some point. I feel like it's a little bit of a flavor that's going to make the character interesting. So that's how we make the link between these two characters. And the flavor text says, absolutely not regulation hardware for the illegal contraption. So this is the illegal contraption. He was experimenting again. And the fact that he's getting like warnings from the Safety Bureau of Inspections, right? That is what is the link between this card and this card, right? That's what helps bring it together. The fact that both of these cards have kind of like a status revoked or like a warning. They've done something like illegal or something they're not supposed to do. And then of course there's Klas Henwick again, not being able to use that left eye. If you check the shape of the eye as well, you'll also see that this is definitely the same character that we're looking at. So there's all the evidence for Klas Henwick. Those three cards, mind-blowing, because you never would have seen it until you actually looked for it. And once you find it, it's just like, wow, okay, well, big. Alright, so another thing is that one of the voice lines he has when he attacks is, who wants a taste of progress? Progress becomes this very key word. We saw it here with the eager apprentice. So progress, and then the assembly bot is one of the huge giveaways about Klas, who he is and whatnot. So he made the assembly bot. We can see that based on these huge screws that are in the assembly bot. We see a similar thing here with his weapon that is going to be coming to League. We see those huge kind of screws. Those are like Klas Henwick Adc. And the assembly bot also has a schematic sheet. We'll look at that a bit later. And what does his flavor text say? It says, any simpleton can build a machine, but it takes an extraordinary acumen to infuse a mechanized mind with true progress. Soon enough, those damn bureaucrats will come crawling back. And who's saying this in the flavor text of the assembly bot? It's Klas Henwick. They actually show that it's his quote, and we can see the link between the two cards. So all four of these cards are essentially linked. They made 4 cards to reference one character. This means that he is an important character. Riot Games just doesn't do this for anyone. Cithria also has 4 cards which reference her. Okay. So now let's move on to the schematic sheet and kind of breaking down what we're seeing. First thing, at the bottom of the sheet, we've got that icon. He's kind of drawn these 2 robot looking things with like eyes there, and the eyes are slightly uneven. You can see it in this drawing, and that looks very familiar to this card right here. This is the card that summons the illegal contraption that we can see here. I think this card is called Unlicensed Innovation. So Unlicensed Innovation summons the illegal contraption. So this shows the link, and we can also see, like I mentioned a bit earlier, we can also see the Unlicensed Innovation right there, the boxes that he gets this thing out of. So this is an illegal robot that he's building essentially. It's not standard. He's just trying to go ham, and he's doing it all in the name of progress. He wants to progress things further. Okay, and I'd venture to theorize that this little drawing of a doodle, this might be from the past, but I'm venturing that this guy is actually this assembly bot. It's a reference to this assembly bot. I don't think they wanted to give us anything more than just a small idea, just a small little reference. And I think he drew this maybe when he was a bit younger, because here's our biggest piece of evidence that ties everything together. This is what I found that made me very, very excited. When I saw this, I suddenly knew that this was Klas Henwick. Alright, so this is the schematic sheet. Now, if you look at it very carefully, it kind of lines up really well with this other schematic, especially in terms of the material he's using to draw with, right? Whether it's chalk or it's some sort of pen that doesn't draw right, like a pencil or crayon. But whatever he's using, it aligns very well with this schematic, as well as the way he kind of does lines and curves. You can see there's kind of a consistent way that he shows his lines and curves in his drawings, and that is the huge amount of evidence that we have that Klas Henwick is going to be our new character in League of Legends. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my little theory. Let me know if you guys spotted anything new as well. I'm excited to see this character. Sorry if I spoiled you on it, but you know, you gotta do it for the content. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm out. Peace.